Formaldehyde is used to embalm dead bodies. Benzene is found in gasoline. Polonium-210 is radioactive. Carbon monoxide is found in car exhaust. Ammonia is used in household cleaners. And hydrogen cyanide is used in chemical weapons. What do all of these chemicals have in common? You should stay tuned for Health Watch. Hello, I'm Terrence F. Anderson, and this is Health Watch. Formaldehyde, benzene, polonium-210, carbon monoxide, ammonia, and hydrogen cyanide. Let's also add chemicals like acetone, vinyl chloride, chromium, arsenic, cadmium, butane, and lead. What do all of these substances have in common? Along with nicotine and tar, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that they are amongst the more than 7,000 chemicals found in cigarette smoke, of which some 70 are carcinogens, can cause cancer. Smoking cigarettes is a very hazardous, frequently deadly enterprise indeed. And if you are an African-American male, the associated health risks are extraordinarily disproportionate. Consider these dreadful facts. About 1 in 5 black adults in the U.S. smoke cigarettes. Diseases from smoking kills more black Americans each year than car crashes, AIDS, murders, and drug and alcohol abuse combined. Smoking cigarettes puts you at risk for heart disease, cancer, and stroke, the 3 leading causes of death amongst African Americans. Those statistics worsen for African American males. Rates of cancers related to cigarette smoking vary widely among members of racial and ethnic groups, but are highest amongst African American men. Between 2007 and 2011, African American men in Virginia were diagnosed with lung and bronchus cancer at especially high rates, 98 per 100,000 men. During that same time period, black men in Virginia died from lung and bronchus cancer at an alarming rate, 79.9 per 100,000 men. Yet, as a former smoker, I am well acquainted with how difficult it is to put down those cigarettes. Now I run a smoking and tobacco cessation program for the Norfolk Department of Public Health. Recently, I was asked by the Virginia Department of Health's Office of Family Health Services Tobacco Use Control Project and the VDH Comprehensive Cancer Control Program to run point at a smoking cessation and awareness campaign, especially targeting African American men in Hampton Roads. So that is our topic today. And I brought a couple of my co-workers on board to help us take a look at the situation. It is my great pleasure to introduce Rita Ray Miller, Secession Coordinator, Virginia Department of Health, Division of Prevention and Health Promotion, and Anthony Pettiford, a WIC nutritionist in the Norfolk Department of Public Health's Women, Infants, and Children program. And like myself, a former smoker. Welcome to Health Watch, guys.
Thank you, Terrence.
I really want to thank you so very much for joining us and talk about this very important topic. But let's begin by talking a little bit about yourselves, what you do for the Virginia Department of Health. Beginning with yourself, Rita. What is your title again, and what is it that you do?
I am the Tobacco Cessation Coordinator for the Virginia Department of Health, the Tobacco Use Control Project. And basically, I spend my days coordinating the services and activities of the Tobacco Use Cessation Quit Line, and that is a service that is available to any Virginian age 13 and over who wishes to quit smoking. Those services are available for them.
And that is a pretty successful quit line for those people that are genuinely want to stop smoking.
It most certainly is, yes.
And Anthony, what about you? What do you do with the WIC program?
Well, I'm a WIC nutritionist, and generally we do nutrition education, group nutrition education. Also, we do individualized nutrition education, as well as outreach programs. We serve women, infants, and children, women who are pregnant, breastfeeding, or postpartum, and we do infants all the way up until they're 5 years old.
Okay, I said that you were a former smoker. How old were you when you started smoking, and how long did you smoke?
Well,
don't tell me 5 years old.
No, actually I was in my mid-20s when I started smoking. Kind of picked it up from some friends. It's a habit that I just picked up, just one a day. Eventually I found myself going to the store buying packs.
Oh, really? From one a day to
From one a day to a pack. a day in a matter of months.
Really?
Really.
Wow. When I smoked, a pack of cigarettes would last me well over a month.
Really?
You know, but that is a pretty drastic change. And you spoke about the, I guess it was peer pressure. Why did you start smoking? Wasn't there information about the dangers of smoking?
Yeah, but you know, when you're young, you don't really pay attention to all of that. You're just trying to be cool. So
It felt invincible.
trying to blend in with the crowd, you know? So, you know, you just pick up one, and then one became two. And like I said, before I know it, I was running to the store buying packs.
How did it feel, Anthony, when I was reading those statistics on the hazards of smoking, particularly as they affect African American men? How did that feel to you? What went through your head when you were hearing those statistics?
It's pretty startling to know that all those different chemicals are in one little cigarette. Yeah,
That's quite a bit.
it's quite a bit of stuff that's in there, so it's really frightening just to know all of those different chemicals are in there, and you're puffing that into your lungs.
And 70 different carcinogens.
Wow.
Several different, 70 different chemicals that can cause cancer. Rita, you are working with a team of people that are dedicated to getting the word out about the hazards of smoking. What is the ultimate goal and mission of that campaign targeting African American men? I must tell you that I was so impressed to be approached by our Richmond headquarters office to spearhead this initiative here in Norfolk. What are the goals and missions of that campaign?
Well, our goals are that we want to increase awareness and assess the effectiveness of reaching out to African American males ages 15 to 25 years old here in the Hampton Roads community. And we also want to provide health consequences or informational health consequences of smoking, as well as making resources available to those who are interested in quitting smoking. It's important that we inform the community of the nicotine and that it is an additive that is added to tobacco, and that cigarettes are definitely designed for addiction. So when you smoke, the tobacco company intends for you to be addicted to the cigarette or to smoking. We want to increase awareness in addition to letting people know that cancer is one thing that happens when you smoke, but also there are other immediate damages that happens to the body, particularly to the arteries, and it can lead to heart attack and can lead to stroke, respiratory diseases such as asthma, emphysema, chronic bronchitis, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, of which we know as COPD. And then there are other chronic diseases that come into play as well from smoking. So we want people to be aware of all of the things that happen when they participate in tobacco activities.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of those things. Earlier I mentioned the incidence of lung and bronchus cancer, as well as lung and bronchus cancer deaths amongst African American men, and I spoke generally, but do you have some specific data about the African American men in Hampton Roads?
Actually, I do. Among the 35 health districts in Virginia, Portsmouth ranks third highest in deaths from lung and bronchus cancer.
Third highest?
Third highest. Hampton ranks 9th, and Norfolk ranks 16th. So they're pretty high on the list when we look at all of Virginia.
That's pretty incredible. So that is why Richmond decided to target African American men.
It
in
is.
Hampton Roads.
We had begun to look at the reports that we get from our Quitline vendor.
Yes.
And we were seeing
That's
Allure Wellbeing, and they provide Quitline services for us here in Virginia. And they send us a host of reports every month, but one of them includes data regarding who is actually calling the Quitline. And we were looking at African American males. We were looking at males, period, actually. And we saw that the disparity in the numbers of who was calling the Quitline, and we just felt we needed to do something about that. And so we put our heads together, and the Comprehensive Cancer Coordinator came to us one day as we were having a little round table at my desk, and we decided that we would move forward with this. And so that's when we thought about you and decided to see what we can do here in Hampton Roads.
Well, I'm very flattered and honored to be asked to spearhead that initiative, because it is, in fact, something very important. Let's get back to some of the statistical data. Inpatient hospitalizations and the associated costs. Can you provide some
Certainly. Here in Virginia, there were 3,076 inpatient hospitalizations in 2011.
In 1 year?
In one year.
Associated with smoking.
with smoking. And these are people that were there for lung and bronchial cancer.
Wow.
That's all they were there for. And the total cost for that, for those 3,076 people, was $155 million. And then when we look at the average length of stay, they were there for about 6.5 days, and that charge per stay was $50,675. So we're looking at a lot of money.
And again, this is just for lung and bronchial cancer.
This is just lung and bronchial cancer. Yes.
Oh. What about some of the other sites, the other type of cancers? Your office gave me a top 10 cancer sites.
Yeah,
we're going to put that up on the screen in just a moment. But can you elaborate on that, please?
From what I remember from the slides, prostate cancer was at the very top, and I think it was 196.8 African American men within. When we look at 100,000 people or 100,000 men, they were at the prostate cancer was at the very top, and lung and bronchus cancer was next, and that's what we just talked about.
Yeah, see, colon
and rectal is next, and the list goes down. So we can see a direct correlation between smoking and diseases that people find themselves being diagnosed with.
And most people are completely unaware.
No, they aren't, because they don't
just think
about
of lung cancer and so forth, but smoking can lead to a bunch of other cancers. Anthony, do you know any African American men who still smoke today? I'm not asking you to name names. Yeah, I don't want you to do that, but I'm sure you must. Do you know any?
Yes, quite a few at my place of work. There are quite a few men that you see smoking quite frequently.
Yeah. These are folks that are coming with the clients to the WIC clinic.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think these gentlemen know that smoking could lead to other cancers other than just, I mean, lung cancer obviously is bad enough. Do you think that they are aware that there are other cancer risks that are associated with smoking?
Probably not. Probably not, because I didn't really know that. I always thought just lung cancer was associated with smoking, but all of the others I didn't think, would be associated.
What was your knowledge of secondhand smoke? I am imagining that some of these people may not be aware of the incidence of secondhand smoke. I'm not asking you for statistical data, but you are aware of the harmful effects of secondhand smoke?
Right, right. And that was part of the motivation in me stopping my smoking, actually. Yeah, the secondhand smoke.
People that were around you?
No, just having a family,
Right, yeah, that's what I mean.
Smoking in the household and smoking at work. It's just something that kind of makes you think twice about it.
Rita, let's talk a little bit more about secondhand smoke. What happens to someone when they breathe in secondhand smoke?
Well, the body begins to metabolize or break down the nicotine that was in the smoke. And then during that process, the nicotine has a byproduct called continine, and that is created from the nicotine. And exposure to the nicotine in secondhand smoke can be measured by testing the saliva and urine and blood for the presence of continine. And that's what happens. That's how they test how much nicotine is in your body, is through the continine.
So the second nicotine byproduct, I guess, that is what someone gets from inhaling
the secondhand smoke.
But
yes.
that sounds just as harmful as nicotine.
And it is, because we know there are people who have never ever smoked a cigarette, but they've been around secondhand smoke, and then they've been diagnosed with cardiovascular disease or lung cancer, and we always wonder why, but this is the reason why.
What about the impact of secondhand smoke on children?
I think we all know of children who have been troubled with ear infections and have severe and frequent asthma attacks. There are respiratory problems, coughing, sneezing, and shortness of breath. Respiratory infections and bronchitis and pneumonia. And we also have to be aware of the fact that it's most frightening to me is that it puts kids at a greater risk for sudden infant death syndrome, or SID. So there are so many things that happen when we have our children around smoking, particularly secondhand smoke.
Can you share any insight on secondhand smoke by racial and ethnic disparities?
Actually, I can. Continent levels have been consistently found higher in non-Hispanic Black Americans than in non-Hispanic white Americans, as well as Mexican Americans. So when you look at the numbers between 2007 and 2008, 55.9% of non-Hispanic blacks were exposed to secondhand smoke. 40.1% of non-Hispanic whites were exposed to secondhand smoke, and 28.5% of Mexican Americans were exposed to secondhand smoke.
Wow. Anthony, you guys see a lot of pregnant women.
Right.
What are the dangers of smoking in pregnant women?
Well, one is miscarriage, premature birth, stillbirth, SIDS or sudden infant death syndrome, and some birth defects. I am going to talk towards the end of the show about a special project that I'm working on with Portsmouth and Virginia Beach Health Departments, as well as EVMS, Tidewater Community College, and a few other places. And we're doing that because tobacco companies are targeting young people now. That is their prime target. Right.
I mean, I think it's shameful, you know, that they're doing that. But what can you tell us about the incidence of youth smoking in Virginia?
Well, according to a report by the name of Broken Promises that was developed by Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, 56,000 or 13% of Virginia high school students smoke right now. We know that.
Wow.
And every day, 6,000 kids become new smokers daily. 6,000 kids every day start.
Every day.
Every day.
Again, we're just speaking to Virginia.
We're just talking about Virginia, yes. And the annual health care cost in Virginia directly caused by youth smoking is $2.8 billion, with a B, billion. And 336,000 youth are exposed to secondhand smoke in their homes. And so that goes back to what we were talking about just now, all the issues that children have, healthcare issues that children have. Much of it is caused by the secondhand smoke in their homes. 14.3 million packs of cigarettes are bought or smoked by kids each year. And I think this is a very interesting statistic. 152,000 youth in Virginia who are under 18 now and that are alive today will die prematurely from smoking.
That's 152,000 youth under the age of 18
that are alive
smoke
today.
now, that are alive today.
Yes. And here's where it hits all of us. $557 is the financial burden that each household in Virginia bears as a result of smoking-caused expenditures.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty intense. That is pretty intense indeed. I mentioned, Anthony, that I hardly ever smoked. In fact, I had one doctor who told me that my incidence of smoking was so low that I wasn't really considered a smoker.
Right.
But still, it was hard for me to stop because I was smoking. I got really stressed out.
Right.
And so I'm curious, in the absence of quit line, you spoke about how it impacted your family, how that was a motivation for you to stop. How did you successfully stop smoking? What did you do? My father just, after 30 years, it took several attempts, but one day he just put the cigarettes down and never looked back. What was your experience like when you stopped smoking?
Well, initially my motivation was, what helped me get started smoking was a smoking cessation program at my workplace.
Right, right, okay.
Yeah, that's how I got, initially that's how I started, but my main motivation was you just have to tell yourself to quit. I mean, it's just a decision you have to make on your own.
And that's when those smoking cessation programs really benefit you.
Right, because you get a chance to intermingle with other people who do the same thing with you.
That's a very good point.
And you listen to all their different methods of trying to stop smoking.
Right.
And you hear all the different methods and you sort of like...
Well, the Quit Now Virginia program really has some seasoned experts that when folks call. Tell us about Quit Now Virginia.
Well, Quit Now Virginia is sponsored by the Virginia Department of Health, the Tobacco Use Control Program. It is free, it's confidential, and it's a service provided to all Virginians ages 13 and up. So if you are 13 years old, these high school students we just talked about, If they want to stop smoking, they're welcome to call the quit line. There is no limit to the number of times people can call the quit line. You can call as many times as you want. I want people to know that there is a quit coach who is trained to work with you, so it's not a fly-by-night someone working with you. There's somebody who's trained in tobacco cessation to help you. We offer telephone service, but there may be people who want to do their service through a web-based service, so we do have a quit line that is available to them through the web, and the counseling services of course are there. There are self-help materials that we offer, and if you need referrals to local resources, just as Anthony basically talked about, then certainly we offer those as well through the quit line. It serves anyone who desires to quit or using smokeless tobacco. So that's another thing we have to think about. Everybody is not a smoker, but you may use tobacco in another form and you want to quit. And so this is something that you can do to help you do that. And so if you want information about quitting, we ask that you contact the quit line. The quit line is scientifically proven in clinical trials, so we know that this works. It more than doubles a caller's chances of being successful in their quit, because we know quitting, as both of you have said, quitting is hard to do, and so and you need the help, and this is the help that you can get. It's proven to be effective. Again, it's free, it's confidential, and it's convenient. You can either call or you can go on your computer and get it done.
So how does someone reach Quit Now Virginia?
You can call 1-800-QUIT-NOW, which is 1-800-784-8669.
Okay.
Or you can go to the web, www.quitnow.net/Virginia. And we would more than welcome your call, because we want a healthier Virginia.
Well, I'm sure that you will get a lot of callers.
I'm hoping so.
And how does someone reach the Virginia Department of Health Tobacco Use Control Project?
That is a long email address. It's www.Virginia.
Well, we're going to put it up on the screen.
Thank you very much. VDH.virginia.gov/OFHS/prevention/TUCP.
And the Virginia Department of Health Comprehensive Cancer Control Program. We have that information that's going to appear on the screen as well. We have the information there, so you can just give us the telephone number.
Okay.
Is that 804?
804-864-7892.
I think that's 7092.
7092.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah. I hope I got that right.
Yeah.
And Anthony, how does someone reach WIC?
The number is 531-2150, area code 757.
And that's the main number for the WIC office. I mean, that's the main number. That's the number for the Little Creek office.
Right.
But we have the main number as 683-9280.
Okay. Right.
683-9280.
Right.
So we can ignore that second number there, but it's main number 683-9280. So viewers, if you hear me, just ignore that second number when you call 683-757-683-9280. Is there anything that either of you would like to add about the incidence of smoking in African American men in Hampton Roads? I mean, you see quite a bit of it. Apparently, you see folks that come to the WIC office on the outside, and that is a smoke-free campus, so they are smoking away from the building, but you can still see them.
Right. Quite frequently, you see people out on the front of the parking lot smoking all the time. So hopefully they'll see this show and maybe they'll call and try to get some help to stop.
Well, I'm hoping that that a lot of people see the show throughout Hampton Roads, because we're really trying to reach African American men throughout the region. Any other comments that you might have, Rita, about your program?
Yes, I am looking forward to watching the numbers increase on our reports that come in, because I do believe that this will be effective. I do believe people will hear. Just your teaser at the beginning of the show would make me want to call if I were a smoker, because as Anthony says, you just don't know what you're smoking. You know, it's a response that you have to an addiction, but you really don't know what you're doing to your body. I'm hoping that it will change some minds and get people to want to quit. And those that want to quit, now they know where they can get the services and the help that they need.
I want to say one thing very quickly, and then I'm going to mention a special program that I have coming up. The Virginia Foundation for Healthy Youth Initiative did an event, Reduce Tobacco Use, the 11th Reduce Tobacco Use Conference, and there was a gentleman there by the name of Dr. DeNoble who was recruited by, I won't name the tobacco company, but he was recruited by, he was working at a California university doing research in behavioral pharmacology, was recruited by a tobacco company to come and create to define a chemical that would keep people addicted.
That was his job.
Yeah, that was his job.
Right.
And they paid him handsomely to do that. Guys, I want to thank you so very much for joining us today. This is indeed a very important topic. And the insight that you provided is absolutely essential. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Before we close today, I want to take a moment to make you aware of a very special program I'm working on with the Portsmouth and Virginia Beach Department of Public Health, the Eastern Virginia Medical School Consortium for Infant and Child Health, Teens with a Purpose of Movement, the Garden of Hope's I Am My Sister's Keeper program, and the Illuminating Good Health Coalition. It's the 757 Smoke-Free Teens Smoking and Tobacco Cessation program. It features a poster contest for 12 to 15-year-old children, a television public service announcement contest for 16 to 18-year-olds, and a lyric contest for 12 to 18-year-olds. For further information, please visit us and like us on Facebook at 757 Smoke Free Teens and on Twitter at 757 Smoke Free TNS. Our Twitter hashtag is 757 Smoke Free Teens, and our Google Voice number is 757-774-8961. Do please check us out. First, second, and third prize winners will appear on Health Watch and will also be featured at a special event on September 20th at the TCC Roper Performing Arts Center. Guys, again, I want to thank you so very much, and we want to thank you for joining us today for this edition of Health Watch. Remember, you can catch previous editions of Health Watch online at www.norfolk.gov/HealthWatch. You can send me an email at terrence.afri-anderson@vdh.virginia.gov, and my telephone is 757-683-8836, 757-683-8836. For the Norfolk Department of Public Health, I'm Terrence Afri-Anderson, and this has been Health Watch.